to Talking with Teacher, and we're going to be your teachers for this episode.
So today, in this episode, we are going to be adding and subtracting decimals.
Yay!
And we have our one and only favorite
student.
So, I'm going to start off with adding decimals.
Yay!
And remember, guys, when you add or subtract decimals,
the most important thing is to line up the decimal point.
So, I'm just going to go ahead and put my decimal point right under it. So I know that from here is going to be my whole numbers, and all the way over is going to be my decimal point.
Which is tenths, hundreds, thousands, and those are in order. You can see our last episode to figure out the place value charts with decimals if you need to.
So, we're going to start off with doing 8 plus 0, which is 8. And then we can mix up some multiplication if you have double digits, and we do here. So we have it 9 and 9. So it equals 18. And make sure to carry your 1 over because we always in the tens. So here's the ones. We're going to add that 2 to make it a 3. And we're going to do 3 plus 3, which is 6. Then we have our whole numbers, and we're going to do 1 plus 2, which is 3. And you have your tenths, hundreds, thousands, and your whole number.
Yay!
Isn't this like just
That's how you add decimals.
Isn't this like standard addition?
Yes, it is. But make sure
To
to
line up your decimal point, kids.
I'll keep that in mind.
good job.
Okay, so now we're going to learn how to subtract decimals. And it's basically like standard subtracting, like Sam said, but our numbers are 1 and 100ths and 98 hundredths. And remember, line up your decimal point.
And if you have any zeros, you can always take that 0 away and be in the tenths, or you can add as much zeros as you need, and it'll be in the hundreds, thousands, and on and on.
Okay, so we are going to be, you can't take away 9, you can't take away 8 from 0, so we're going to go to our tenths place and mark it out and put a 0 there so we know that we already borrowed from that number, and turn this 0 into a 10. See my 10 right there? And then 10 minus 8 equals
2.
Give you a second to answer. 2. Ding ding ding. So I'm going to write my 2 right under my 0 and my 8.
And before she keeps going with her subtraction, if y'all do not know how to add or subtract, just straight up add and subtract, go see our other video that we did a couple weeks ago, and that's how to add and subtract.
Yay! Okay, so, and then you can't take away 9 from 0, and so you're going to go to your whole number and make this a 0, so that makes sure that you already borrowed it.
From it.
Yeah, and you're going to turn this 0, you're going to add a 1 next to it until it's a 10 right there. And then 10 minus 9 equals 1. And so again, you're going to line up the 1 right underneath the 9.
Tenths place.
The tenths place, yeah. And then you're going to add your decimal point, because you don't change the decimal point. So
Decimal point is a decimal point, and it just always goes right
see
in between
it
your
like
whole number
lines up.
and in between your whole number and your decimals.
Yeah, and your tenths.
So that's how you add and subtract decimals.
Yeah, but if you want to, 1 minus 0 or 0 minus 0 equals 0, you can add the 0, or you can keep it the same. So our final number is 12 hundredths. And remember,
our final number for adding is 3 and 688,000.
Can't you just say 3.6888?
no, that is the wrong way.
That's the improper way. So you want to replace that with an and. So it's like
The decimal point is always an and.
okay. And so
you could also, if you're not really sure what your answer is, you can always use inverse operation, which is
You can always use what she started.
You can always use inverse operation if you're not sure to find your answer. So,
So it checks your answer. Like if you're doing a test, you can always check your answer and make sure you're correct. And now we're gonna ask our one and only student to her some questions about what she learned. So what did you learn about today?
I learned that adding decimals are basically standard adding, and I learned that subtracting decimals are also kind of like standard subtraction.
but you
totally
gotta
correct.
wind up your decimals.
Yep.
Kids.
What's your favorite subject in math? Like, what's your favorite thing to do
Unit.
in math?
Well, now they're decimals.
Yay! Decimals are so fun.